All right, y'all. What's happening? This is Billy. I'm here with Johnny, Keller, Kurt. We're bringing you the Glassmith pod. Tonight we're going to be talking about all things the Glassmith. We're going to really be getting into it. I'd first like to thank our sponsor, Austin Wholesale Supply. Thank you for always lacing us with pretty much everything to keep us in business. We really appreciate it with the music, water, with the hot chips, the good drinks,
Magic Mind,
the vapes and everything. They really the vapes. They really keep they really keep us going. So first tonight, like I said, we're gonna talk about Billy's Bodega. So Johnny, you basically built this trailer. Do you want to give us a quick overview of what you're thinking about how you kind of came to Billy's Bodega? And just give a quick overview
tell us
of what
how you
got.
came with that name.
Well, I didn't necessarily come up with the name. Our awesome producer, Austin, came up with the name for Billy's Bodega. I think it was one of the best choices.
Shout out, Austin.
But I'm really, originally, the first thought going into it was 50-50. I thought that we could do 50% vapes, 50% snacks and chips. But it's really more 75-25. We gotta do hella vapes to have some chips.
And when you say that, so you're saying is that we need, so we dedicated our whole back wall with vapes. You think that it should even be more dedicated?
Yeah. I think that the vape should almost go over, to the left, to where the double doors open. We should build shelves there for more vapes. More types of vapes in there angled on our little, displays that shoot them out for us.
So kind of the idea
the
that,
cigarette spitters.
if someone comes up, people come up, you have, 30 different types of vapes. And, if someone's well, I want this one, we have it. Even if it's one that, they're the only person that really buys it.
Yeah, because, right now there's 2 types of vapes that I want to carry. And I'm oh, man, well, where would I put them? This Geek Bar that's coming out, I really want to carry it in, every single flavor. But there's no space for that right now. There will be, if we continue to kind of expand on the shelving, we could really double up. Right now, with where we're at, we could double up on the vape storage.
So, with storage, you're talking more retail space, or
Yeah, retail space, storage, kind of the same thing.
Well,
we can almost fit a whole 10 in every single row, especially if we get these little plastic cigarette dispensers for everywhere. We just lined all the shelves in cigarette dispensers.
What describe kind of the process of the layout and the shelving and how did you come up with the way that you were going to put it together?
Oh, the shelves was pretty easy. It was 50% me, 50% Tracy. We put in these shelves, we put in these big sticks, and then we just pinned the shelves in between these sticks and the wall, and then now that they can go up and down. I think that's the coolest part. So if we get a bigger vape, we can make them go up a little bit higher. If we get a smaller vape, you can lower it down.
So that was kind of when you were thinking how to do it, you're thinking versatility.
Yeah, because that's the biggest thing. Shit changes so much. We're always changing up the product to which we're carrying.
Interesting. How is it affected? I'm saying I would say you mostly, but we overall put this thing together very, very quickly. How has it affected your schedule?
Oh, crazy. We definitely put it together way before we were staffed appropriately. Please reach out to the Glassmith for an application. You can just email us at johnny@theglassmith.net and we'll probably hire you.
Especially if you can work more than 10 hours a week.
Yeah, if you can work more than 10 hours a week and you actually you can work these hours, we'll probably hire you pretty quickly. Give you a shot.
Keller, you make the schedule. How is this how has this impacted your kind of the rushed opening of the whole thing? How has it impacted your part of the?
I have found myself in the shop from it was none to 40 hours a week, which is fine because this truck is actually really fun to work. And be back at West Campus is really nice. But yeah, as far as trying to stretch people, it has kind of been a little difficult. I feel like I'm kind of putting a heavy load on more people than normal for sure. But
it was definitely surprising all 3 of us on the schedule. You especially, you're never on the schedule. I'm always Billy's got to be on the schedule. Just schedule me.
It's weird how fast it changed. It was we started super overstaffed. We were talking about this earlier. We started super overstaffed. and now we're severely understaffed. Like, just like for a bunch of reasons. I was talking about college. Like college really wipes out a bunch of our people because like it gets into crunch time. It's kind of disgusting. Like like the idea of going to a concert is so normal for college students to do in a group. Like once a semester, a group of college students goes somewhere together. Kurt, how many times have you had like something that you have to do during the semester?
Oh, all the time. Like whether it's like a family event or like just wanting to go like you're in school all week and like you want to go out for the weekend, like that kind of stuff. Like it just like I don't know. I feel like most college kids do it way more often than the people who work at our shop. Like you kind of just accept that like you might not have Sunday, or you might not have Saturday, and so you like only do like the 1 day thing.
For me, it's felt really squeezed. You know, like I knew the goal and I liked the goal. That's like I think why I started asking Johnny about how in the world he put the like kind of the fit. I was more curious about the physical construction, right? Like it's like, but overall is like how fast we did the whole thing is like it's really fast. So like were we prepared? And the answer is probably no. Do you guys think like so Keller? Do you think that that's the way we should have done it, or do you think we should have done it like as?
At the end of the day, I was happy with it. I think because like the amount of people who have come up and like, wow, this is so cool, or just like how it looks. I think it looks super cool that we're like an entire corner in the park now. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Y'all expanded the deck. It looks super awesome. The big sign up there together. Even though it was me having to pick up a lot of these hours, you guys like I think it was the right move. It seems to have been doing pretty well.
How you feel, Kurt?
I haven't worked it once. I think I stepped foot into the shop for one of the first times this week. Like I learned where the light switch was Monday.
But you have been working
other shops.
You've been working extra because of it. Do a little bit more.
But like it's not too bad. Like being in the shops, like I said, especially ECs are in 6th.
I do feel kind of bad. Like I haven't really worked any hours in the shops. Like yesterday, I worked 2 hours for you, and that was kind of like the most shop hours like I worked, other than like the couple of nights I've closed.
Johnny's really good at getting his hours covered. Like he just individually texts every single person, and then starts offering me money.
I keep him updated like the whole time.
Huh?
Yeah. Like as they get filled, I tell them I'm like, oh, I got this shift filled. There's still this shift available.
How do you think like? Why, I guess. Like, sometimes you just don't want to sit down?
Well, it's, I prefer, there's so many other things that I can be doing. Like, there's just, like, like we were talking about earlier, like, I have a list that's so long, it's, like, always having more and more things added to it. And I haven't even really gotten to start it lately.
Yeah, I would say the trailer, the Billy's Bodega also is, like, it's still 75%, it's still, like, 75%.
Yeah.
And we still got, we're talking about putting them extra shelves up and doing all this extra stuff. It still has this other thing to go. I'm incredibly, I think it was I guess I'm back and forth whether it was the move or not. Do you, because if we wait until, when school gets back January 15th, that whole process is super easy. But, are we really ready to staff up ahead of time? I think that's one of our problems going in is that we staffed up heavy, but as we had attrition, we didn't really remember, because we had extra people. So we had enough people to cover everything, but we weren't really ready to go ahead. So one of my curiosities is if we would be ready if we didn't have the location. So how many training shifts can people have? You know what I mean? Do we have the space to fit 2 people? These are some of the things I've been thinking about is right, so when we come back, or pretty soon, I guess winter break, when we have people wanting to work more hours, Clara comes back, a couple things happen, then we'll be able to put a glass blower with somebody. So you have 2 people on a shift at the same time, rather than just 1 person on a shift at the same time. Mm-hmm. But that'll only alleviate a little bit of the strain goal. But so opening this one now, I guess in effect helped us get open it. We couldn't hire the people if we didn't have the place to put them. Because we needed them, we hired them so rapidly. How do you guys... Okay, so let me ask a question. How do you feel about, that aspect of things, the rapid hiring? Do you think, should we consistently be trying to hire, or should we hire as needed?
I think that the amount of stuff that like we have going on as a shop, like outside of the shop, means that like even before we could have hired more. Like Austin could have had no shifts in the shop prior, instead of having like a few shifts in the shop, and then all of that time could have been towards podcast, or like all the little shifts that like if Keller has to fill one shift, that could have been a new hire. You know what I mean? Like even if we can't fill the time, we can fill the time. Like if Tana works X number of hours in the shop, or used to, and now, like at the time, all that time could have just been TikTok. Like
she will again.
She hopefully. But like anyone who does anything extra for the shop could have been dedicating more time towards that, and so like in theory we can infinitely hire as long as anyone that does anything extra for the shop. Like Amari's probably pretty soon, like probably gonna start being like, hey, like don't prioritize his schedule. Like he has other stuff going on. Like just because this guy does so much like working on the menu, and I'm sure that's just gonna add more and more onto his plate. And it's like that's the feeling I get about it. It's just like even without the extra shop, we could have been hiring more people. It's just a matter of payroll at that point. Like, do you want to be paying these people to do 40 hours a week, not in a shop?
Well, it's hard, man. It's hard to know, right? Like, I guess like there would be a way that we could really figure it out. But then, some stuff we contracted naturally, right? Like we were doing Bud Bar 3 nights a week with two people at them. Like,
at one point, it was 7 nights a week at West Campus, and then like 2 nights at 6th, and once at East Caesar.
Yeah.
Like it was
10
wild.
times a week.
Yeah.
So if it
And East Caesar was Bud Bar and liquor.
So there was so much going on.
Yeah, it was like an extra 16 shifts to 8 to 20 shifts.
Dang. That's crazy. That's a lot of contraction, like a lot of labor force contraction.
Yeah, but then all those people I don't think lost hours. Like I think it just switched. Like when Bud Bar went away, it wasn't that Pat stopped working as much. We just started staying up until 3 a.m. every day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true. That's right about when right when we stopped doing that, we started staying up away
I
later.
think it was within 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Oh, so we had an excess of people and we stretched them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that later hours didn't affect us because we had all the available time, and the people that want to work the later hours.
Yeah, and if you think about it, like when we if we hire
if
like
anybody wants to
4
work later hours.
Yeah, if you want to work till 3 a.m. every
Glassmith.net.
single day, Johnny at the Glassmith.net.
Or 3 a.m. to 10 a.m. every single day.
Yeah, if you want to make us a 24-hour shop,
Johnny at the
we'd appreciate you.
Glassmith.net.
But like Quinn, for instance, like he gets he works 30 to 40 hours a week, probably more.
Mm-hmm.
Like if we hire a new person, it's not like he loses hours if you just start scheduling someone East Caesar. He just gets to blow glass more. Like instead of being East Caesar by himself and struggling running back and forth and only getting like 20 minutes, and then you like crack the thing you're working on because you stuck it in the kiln and the kiln wasn't all the way up, or like you just set it down. Like you just keep blowing glass and you turn over and you're like,
so long.
What?
So what you guys what essentially you're saying is that you think we're stretchy.
Like
we
can
can
every
stretch out
single
or
person.
stretch back so far fast.
Yeah, because like if you put me in the shop more, I don't do less. I do homework, getting paid, and then I do all the other stuff outside of it, getting paid. Like I don't work less or more depending on. Well, I guess I technically work more if you give me hours doing other stuff outside.
Like shop hours are like you're saying, is it when you personally feel the flex, like when you're working the shop more, you maybe you just work more. So if you're working the shop more, you're also doing the same stuff. So instead of doing 30 hours total, now you're doing 50 hours.
Yeah, like I think that I hit 10 hours a day 4 days in a row really easily, because I did glass blowing at Sweet Sensei event, and then like the next day I think I worked like a 10-hour shift, and then the next day I did, and those 10-hour shifts knocked out all my homework, which means that now I got to do all my other stuff. And during those shifts I probably also did Instagram stuff. Like I get distracted and I start making vendor posts, I start hitting up vendors, I make flyers. Like most of the stuff I do kind of just gets done either way.
Do you like it better? Do you like it better or worse? Like, you know what I mean? Like, do you look forward to working to going back to the 30? Like right now, when you feel stretched, you're like, dang, man. Or you like, wow, I like the flex, because it's uncontrolled. It's like it's not your decision.
It's not my decision. Like at first, I saw the schedule and I was like 7 days. Like I haven't done that in forever.
Mm-hmm.
But it like I have a really hard time deciding between work and school. Like work's really important to me. School is really important to me. But like if I don't get certain things done, the event goes bad. And so then like I might procrastinate on one thing or the other. And this guarantees like, okay, like tomorrow I'm gonna be sitting in the shop for 5 hours at 6th Street. Like I'll clean a little bit, or West Campus, or like as long as it's not a busy shift, I'll clean a little bit. I'll do some homework. I'll work on Instagram a little bit. Yeah, like it's convenient.
You feel the same way?
Yeah, it's nice to like sit down and have the chance to do other things.
And then the stuff that you normally do you're still getting it done.
Oh yeah, it's kind of the time that I would utilize to I've been working the Bodega like 3 or 4 a.m.s. That is like the best time to make the schedule.
Utilize
Or crochet. Like if you're gonna
opposite.
crochet, it's gonna be, it's because like that's the thing that sucks about the shift. Is like if I
Feels
have
so
a 40-hour
useless
week
in
in
the
the
shop.
shop, I don't want to do Instagram double clocked, then it could make it more difficult. But I just knock out the other things I have to do in life during that shift. So then I can do Instagram when I get off the clock. Which is where like Johnny's like building stuff. Like if Johnny has to build a shelf, it's probably a pain in the ass to build a shelf at 6th Street when the shelf set
for
builds
me to
Bodega.
do anything while there's people coming up. Like I can do so much if there's somebody in there watching the shop and I'm in there like with them. But I think like the overall like working, like just trying to work it and then trying to do stuff. Like I hate looking away from the counter. It's like one of my biggest things. But like one of the best things to do is to be looking away from the counter, like doing something, actually accomplishing something. Like West Campus, like I haven't been able to work there and do things there because that's not an option. Like so if I have a shift that I have to work, then I prefer it to be like East Caesar, the hub, the best shop. Because like I can actually do a lot of stuff there while there's people still walking up. I was telling Billy today, like I can actually be on my computer and I don't feel like I'm gonna miss somebody walking up to the shop.
Well, but
and I don't know how people like.
Well, it's like for me, like you play music really loud when you're in the shop. I don't play music at all when I'm in the shop, and so I hear people walking up from like 30 feet away. Like their feet hit the gravel, and I'm like, oh, there's a person.
I can still hear their feet in the gravel, but like,
oh, then
I don't
you have
know.
no problem.
I see all the time people saying, "Oh, I can hear them," and then just seeing people walk up on them, and then they're like,
Well, yeah,
that's one of the big reasons why I built a big step, so that now in their peripheral vision, they can see the people.
Oh, well, yeah, because a lot of people do the.
Yeah, and then with
and like if they got a hat on, it's like even worse.
When
and then
you
they're
say
playing music.
oh,
way
sorry,
too loud.
Kurt.
No,
When you say you built a step, like, would you really call it a step, or would you call it like an inside deck?
I would say you had no clue what I was talking about and didn't even ask any questions.
Yeah, but now that I'm interested in it, I'm asking now.
Inside deck is a more appropriate word, but like at
was almost
first
just
I wasn't thinking of 3 feet was like way wider than I thought it was gonna be. I guess like I knew I wanted to make it the whole width of the shop, but like I didn't know the whole shop. I didn't know like it was 3 feet. Like I was like, whoa.
3 feet wide.
Like standing
It'd
area.
be wild if it was 3 feet tall. That
I
should
haven't
be
been
uncontrolled.
I haven't been over there yet. What do you think about it?
The step.
Yeah, the deck.
The internal deck.
inside deck. It's cool. It's like, yeah, it's really interesting because when we built the deck on the other side, it was kind of like evened things out a little bit from the stairs that were there previously.
We used to tower on
so
people.
now that you're looking so far down on people, it feels a little strange. But
Austin, as a tall person.
As a tall person, I've hit my head on that the shelf that holds the bongs at least 3 times a day.
Sounds like he needs to learn.
But I'm getting used to it.
How far can it move down?
Oh,
like,
as
can you
far
move it farther
yeah,
down?
yeah, we can definitely move it farther down.
So I think it's really
it'll be
good.
This
a
was
step
some
up
good
from
feedback.
farther
This
back.
was good feedback.
But then you hit your head on the other shelf, right?
Which one?
Glass building.
Oh,
Right above the
really?
glass area. Maybe, I don't know.
Every shop's got something you hit your head on.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're thinking about joining our company, make sure you're under 4'10". Not
No,
4'10",
no,
5'10",
no. We
5'10".
actually prefer taller. It's this thing I have with people looking down at their phones. They don't have peripheral vision, and if you're shorter,
The
No,
the Glassmith does not discriminate on height.
No, not at all. Like, not at all. We have such short workers.
And tall ones. Sometimes.
And tall workers.
Tall people. Yeah.
Austin's really tall.
All
we
people.
had a really tall worker that was the tallest dude I've ever met.
He hit his head on fucking everything.
Everything.
Continuous problem. A lot of good videos though.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So look, back to Billy's Bodega. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Rather than y'all's crazy hiring practices, you guys better clean it up.
We hire anybody.
Is anybody? Oh my
Anybody.
God! You're just like, hey,
Just
you got
apply.
balls?
Anybody.
If you apply,
you
he'll
have
just
to
hit you
have
back.
an appropriate
Yes.
resume, and the interview has to go well.
Quality people is who we hire.
Quality people. It is. We do actually have some pretty quality employees.
Until they stop working for us, and then
we'll start hiring anybody.
then they're less quality is what I was gonna say.
Oh, the Glassmith.
Like
makes
as
the
long as they're
quality.
in, they're in. But when you're out, you're out.
All
Just
right.
kidding. That's not true either. All right. So, the question that I've been thinking about recently is on these chips and drinks and overall kind of profit margins. So, Johnny, with the exotic chips and drinks, we make more money than we do on Dr. Pepper?
Yeah, so like the way it really sucks. Dr. Pepper we make like cents on. It's really like 50 cents at most on most of our like the normal sodas you get. With water is the crazy most outrageously priced thing on earth. Like people charge so much for water. Music water is pretty great.
When you say people charge so much for water, what do you like? Who?
Well, I think
we do.
everybody like
You're talking retail businesses. Or
retail
you're talking
business.
like,
We're one of the cheapest besides 7-Eleven.
so
But
how
because
much?
of our
How much does a
refrigerator
bottle of
space,
water cost you?
A bottle of water of music water costs around 20 cents.
20 cents.
20 cents a bottle. If you go to Costco, you can get water for even cheaper.
How
around
cheap?
8 to 9 cents a bottle, depending on the season.
How much water do how much do we sell water for?
$2, $1.50. It's like $1.60 something.
$1.50 plus tax.
Yeah.
Which is you guys? That's
$1.68.
reasonably priced water.
Well, so yeah, you go to most gas stations, and I feel like you pay $1.50 to $2 for
Yeah.
one of these. But then, like, if you get one of the big waters, like if you buy small waters from a gas station, you're wasting your time.
Yeah.
Like, you
you
gotta
should go
get
in
the
there and
big
get
ass
the
waters.
2 7-Eleven big ass ones for $5. That's the best deal on water, like anywhere.
Well,
But
and then,
we have to pay rent.
well, yeah, but then also
Small
it's like
fridge.
the other thing that
Big
sucks
rent.
is like you're saying how cheap it is to get a case of water at Costco, but like at 7-Eleven it's like $8. Like it's so much more expensive to get a case of water.
We're about to
at
start
7-Eleven.
selling cases of water at the Glassmith.
At Billy's Bodega specifically.
Billy's Bodega to be more
Do not go to the
specific.
other locations asking for a case of water.
Only Billy's Bodega.
Only Billy's Bodega.
I don't think we're gonna start selling
It's
cases
just
of
they
water.
might be a little dirty, but cases of water.
Yeah, no, probably
And
not.
firewood. Y'all
That would be so funny to have bundles of firewood. All right. So do you guys ever buy water?
Like from a gas station?
Yeah.
All the time. If I'm driving somewhere, I get thirsty, I gotta get
What
water.
kind of water do you get?
The cheapest option.
What?
Keller.
Always.
Oh.
Consistent.
No.
Keller, what kind of water do you get? Do you get water?
Yeah, I don't drink like soda or anything
Okay.
like that. It depends on what they have. I'm not like super picky. I'll normally reach for just like a smart water. I like the bottles.
How much is a smart water?
Way too much.
$3 or $4.
Yeah.
too expensive.
How much money do we make on a smart water?
So we don't have any smart waters, but it's crazy. Smart water would cost us like $1 for the ones they sell at 7-Eleven for $4. So like they have
So
a
we
big
can
ass
buy
one.
a smart water for $1.
Yeah, and then we can sell it for $4, but we'd have reasonably priced smart water.
What do you mean?
Well,
When you say reasonably priced, okay. So all right, let's get back to the question here.
this is the thought process with
Okay.
the refrigerator. The refrigerator costs X amount of money. In our situation, it was like $1,500, $1,600.
Okay.
The refrigerator space costs X amount of money. We could put vapes there that make so much more money. Like so, like if we put a box of vapes there that sells out every day.
Don't we like how much space could we how much vapes could we possibly sell? Like would if we the more do you think that the retail the footprint of vapes is always coordinated with how much money we're gonna have? Or do you
No.
need diversity of product?
Diversity of product, something that brings people back. So then that's why we put a fridge in. Like don't get me wrong, we put the fridge in over the putting the vape shelves in, because we know what's gonna bring people back. But like I'm saying, what's gonna make more money would be a box of vapes.
Let's just stick inside of the refrigerator.
Okay, inside
So
the refrigerator.
okay,
That's
so
a
my
rented space,
fundamental question is well, no, because I want to know about the chips and the drinks. Like, I'm really curious is if we want more high profit margin chips and drinks, or if we want more everyday chips and drinks. Like, in my opinion, everyday drink is Dr. Pepper.
Versus like the cream soda.
Exotic
Well, the
cream
exotic
soda
Dr.
is like
Pepper.
So yummy.
I just got an A on my
They're
test.
so
I'm gonna get an
good.
exotic pop.
I think another big thing is they're just like so good. Like you've tried a bunch of them. They're
I
pretty
know
good.
Dr. Pepper's really good. Like,
Yeah,
it's
I love
all
Dr.
I
Pepper.
drank for
I've never
years.
had Dr. Pepper, but
Like, even way
I've
back
had
in
it,
my
like,
day,
I've
we
never
had
liked
multiple kinds of drinks to drink, but Dr. Pepper's number one.
We should
Like,
look
it just
into a Slurpee
stays
machine.
number one.
Oh, well, we can get a Slurpee machine.
Like a 7-Eleven Slurpee machine would be badass.
Another cool place that we buy stuff from has a big Slurpee machine.
You don't drink sodas at all?
At all.
What about like he doesn't drink soda, but he drinks the cherry Slurpee.
You drink
the
soda?
cherry Slurpee?
No.
Nah, not
like I drink Minute
You
Maid.
drink pink drink?
It's not like
It's not soda,
carbonated.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
no
I think-
carbonation? So
Yeah.
you don't do
Well, it depends.
San Pellegrino?
I like wine.
No, like the bottled water with the carbonation.
No.
Uh-uh.
I like the.
You like fizzy water?
I like vodka soda, but that's it. That's the only thing like fizzy I drink.
Oh, I drink energy drinks, soda, all
Anything
day.
fizzy.
Yeah. Like I'll drink sodas I don't like sometimes.
Minute
because they're
Maid's like the
fizzy.
closest thing. Like it's the only thing that whenever I open it goes, pff, but it's not really fizzy.
No, that's just juice.
What?
Limited.
Minute Maid.
Oh.
Oh yeah, it's just like it has like pressure built up in it.
Like gross juice, but juice.
Gross juice.
Well, I'm
what
just
is sorry?
saying,
What
like-
did you just drink?
Like, there's good juice in this. There's good juice in this world.
So it's
Minute Maid's okay. Their orange juice
Nah.
is not
Like-
bad.
oh, you drink it with pulp or no pulp?
Some.
Some pulp.
So
Okay.
you like to eat your drinks, is what you're saying.
Eat.
Dude, I'm so curious.
Dog. I pushed pause.
You did it. It's your wife. You want to get
Now
it?
mash it off.
Hopefully she doesn't watch this episode. I can't believe Billy just hung up on Catherine.
Yeah, Billy. That was rude. Like, you
Wow.
didn't even silence it.
Dude,
You
I
just hung up.
silenced the shit out of
Why
that
didn't
phone.
you just? You should
Do
just.
you-
You,
so you
it's only
think-
one person that would call you at this time. Why didn't you just text her?
I'm so embarrassed. But I can't just pick up the phone now. You know what I mean? It's been a journey. Okay, back to chips and drinks.
chips
Let's get serious on this chips and drinks conversation. So, do we want more everyday drinks,
I already know what's in
or do we want more like special
Okay.
drinks?
Well, you're asking like what do
Yeah,
we
like what
want?
was your decision? Like,
Like,
what,
I was really
yeah,
upset
if the
that I
decision
couldn't
is
put-
us.
Oh,
Do we want to fill up on like the regular, like Cheetos, Fritos, and Doritos?
We are getting those things.
I
for
think
sure.
I think that
We
whenever
only got
it
so much
comes
space.
to people coming back,
Keep it.
the exotic stuff helps, but it's got to be mixed in with the regular stuff. Like if you can't get Cheetos, Fritos, or Doritos at Billy's Bodega, then like sometimes people are gonna go to the Orange. What's it called? Is it Orange
Omart.
Market?
Mhm.
Omart. Like they're gonna go there, and then anything else they were getting, they're getting there. Like if they were gonna get a Monster, they're gonna get it there. Which is the other thing is like we run out of a drink. I bet it takes us a minute. I don't know for sure. I just know we've been out of Monster for a second. Because I'm having to go buy Monster.
Yeah, Monster went south in the rainstorm, so it's. We didn't.
Like they
They don't make
like,
anymore. Or something?
like the birds just picked him up
No,
and moved. Or
so
what?
the setup for restocking the bodega didn't like so you guys said like we got so busy and so like
Oh, I know where the monsters are.
I know where the monsters are too.
Where are they?
They're on the table outside.
Outside.
Oh, is this so? So
yeah,
when
because
Johnny
they were
was
all covered
putting,
in Monster. You know what Monster does? Sorry, this is an aside. Is that Monster has thin cans? Like I'm saying, there were so many cans that were spread around this room.
Oh,
but the
everywhere.
Monster, like you barely touch it in that can bus.
And like so I was all these cans that were spread around this room were spread around my truck bed first.
So
all
the
of
monsters were all sticky and nasty.
Oh, no.
So I put the rest of everything in a pile, but then I didn't want to put the monsters in the same pile. I was like,
Well, so it was really funny watching Johnny fill up the refrigerator. Like he has this pile, huge pile of different drinks that are all all in cardboard boxes, and it starts pouring raining. And not for a little bit, like I feel like it was at least 2 or 3 hours of him in the rain trying to put boxes into this refrigerator. And if I'm understanding correctly, afterwards he had to take all of them back out because it was too heavy.
Yeah.
He was really upset.
Yeah.
Was
The
pretty funny.
refrigerator popped right to the ground with all the weight of the drinks. Like they made it too much of a lowrider.
Yeah, but then we fixed it. I put them back in, then took them back out again the next day.
Yep.
And then we fixed it. And now it's pretty solid rolling refrigerator. Never seen a rolling refrigerator of this type, but
Oh, it's a rolling refrigerator?
It rolls.
It
back
rolls.
and
That
forth.
was the point of it. And
So-
we're gonna put handles on it so that when you're in there, you can close
Oh.
yourself in and then pull it back. But
Handles.
before
So the
Oh
other-
my gosh.
before we put the
I know.
handles on it, we're gonna get the drink things. So like when you so they
scoots 'em
slide
forward
down,
for you, and they don't
you know what I
fall.
mean? So they'll be held rather than just loosey in there like they are now. So it'll be like the roll in, roll out will be a little easier.
So right now it moves though? Like when
Yeah.
so the other day when John opened, I didn't have to like squeeze through. I could have just pushed the refrigerator.
That's true.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta
Good
make
to
sure it's
know.
not like a box behind it. But
Yeah.
Yeah, you just have to be careful. Yeah.
Yeah, I just thought it was a tight fit. I was
But
like,
if,
this is
if
an
it's on the
equality.
wheels, if we have it on the wheels and we have the handles, we think that one person should be able to roll it back and forth. So you roll it all the way up to the door, and then when you want to get out, you can roll it all the way back.
That's
But
pretty
we haven't really put it to the test.
You can move it from the inside. Okay, now you just have
Okay.
to kind of like.
you gotta hug it.
Yeah.
It's like a big hug, and then you pull
Well,
it.
Johnny, why haven't you put the handles on?
I'm really like it was an expensive refrigerator, and we voided the fuck out of the warranty. Like, there's no way we could return this. I cut off the bottom like piece of metal, like there was like a lip, and then Tracy was like, "Oh, just grind it off," and so then we just ground it off.
It's crazy that our refrigerator came with that section grounded off. I can't believe they shipped it to us that way.
For real. For
Have
real.
have you thought of any other ways? Like
Yeah, I
other than
thought of a
screwing handle?
strap, but then I was like confused in how like a strap would work. But like maybe a strap at the top, a strap at the bottom, and then a strap that connects those two straps, and then handles on the strap that connects the two straps.
There's no screen
Um,
involved. You should just
no.
put handles.
It's not a bad idea.
No, yeah, or like something that comes up at the bottom. Like Tracy could just make one thin piece of metal that comes up at the bottom that's just as strong as anything else.
Is it like so big that you can't like if
Well,
you would
be
put handles on the
nice.
sides,
Well,
to where
I'm
you could just pull.
You
and
want them
pull?
on all
really
four
afraid
corners.
about screwing in the handles also.
You
Oh,
want
like
the
in your
handles. You want the
relay or-
handles here, on the front, so that when you walk up to it, you can just slightly gentle it back. You know what I mean?
Oh.
But then
Because
you
it's
also
really
want
not
them on the
hard to
back
move
side.
if you have a nice grip
When you
on
want
it.
them on the back side, you go back there and you pull it back. So like a little bit strong, but I don't think too strong.
No.
Okay, so you don't want all the kinds of Doritos?
Not all. I don't know.
Like I'm saying, like salsa ranch,
No.
cool ranch, extra cool
I
ranch, extra
wish we
crispy
could
ranch.
just do a better like
Hot
ask. I wish we could just
nacho-
ask everybody
nacho
what they want
cheese.
us to get.
What do you
But,
mean?
like,
You
how
could
do you
just
do that?
Put a QR code up.
And we
to a-
know
to a
what
poll.
people want.
People
Like
want
we
Dr.
and we
Pepper.
don't have like over like on these other locations
coffee
we have
machine.
like you could say that we have customers that we could cater our shop to. Be like, hey man, my man wants a Delta 8 joint, or pre-roll. Let's make sure we get a Delta 8 pre-roll. You
In
know what I
Delta
mean?
pre-roll section.
Yeah, so but like over at West Campus, you can't make a decision based on what like somebody asks you. They're like, hey man, can you get me this? Like really? You're gonna
What?
give a shelf space to this one guy that wants this one thing?
Well, we did
No,
that with
you
steaks
understand. I was just
forever.
about to say.
Like there's a lot of
You
products.
even
we
know
carry
the
that
girl's
we want-
name that wants a steak.
That's honoring a tradition.
That's
not
not
just
honoring
starting-
a tradition. That's somebody that like
That's
you,
not just starting
like you.
out.
You said the other day. You said, "Oh, let me know whenever we run out of steaks. If she wants more, we'll get more."
Shout out Amanda.
Shout
Shout out Amanda.
But I don't really think that. I don't know. Like I don't think that's much different. Like the kratom at the very beginning of opening 6th Street is the same thing as the cones that the.
What, the lyrical lemonade one?
Yeah, the lyrical
They're
lemonade
okay.
cones that one dude asked for, and then now like I'm
All
like,
the
oh
shops have them.
man, we must have lyrical lemonade cones.
When really, like, no one really.
Nobody
gives a
wants,
fuck
but like
about
ironically, they're the
lyrical
best
lemonade.
cone. Like if anybody was curious, like my favorite cone is probably the lyrical lemonade cone.
So my point is that everybody's favorite shit
Raw.
is Cool Ranch.
okay,
like
let's get
Cool
some
Ranch
Doritos.
Doritos. Like
Everybody just needs to put
I'm
their
not
input
saying
in.
that has to be yours, Keller. I'm just saying is that
Everyone else.
is that
Oh,
like
you're
the
only
world.
one.
Like if you ask Doritos what they sell, it's nacho cheese and Cool Ranch. Or
That's why Taco Bell did the nacho.
Doritos
nacho.
Locos, yeah, Doritos Locos Taco.
with the two most popular kinds. It's the same as all those kinds of chips. Those are like that shit's science. You know what I mean? Like that's like they've scientifically proven that shit sells and deserves shelf space. So, but we don't get to make as much money because the profit margin is
just like cigarettes and all tobacco.
Well, like and we only have so much space because you're saying is that we need to dedicate at least 75% of that space to vapes.
So gotta have the vapes. Like that's a big part about it. That's like what we had a small vape case where we were constantly running out of space.
So what do you think? Like, so how do you think we should run the everyday versus everyday chips and drinks versus exotic chips and drinks? Like, what's the overall, like, if you were to ratio it, what's the overall ratio?
I guess 50-50. Do you think it should be more on the everyday stuff? I think right now we're probably at like 60 everyday stuff, 40
we probably beat this
exotic.
Well, I heard an answer from anybody. Every time I get there, you guys change this conversation. I'm trying to get to a solution on this because I'm actually curious as to what you guys think.
I'm excited for number 4.
I think we sell out. I think we just get all the most popular things.
So you would say 75,
like
75 most popular, 25% less, or exotic stuff.
Yeah, 100%.
And Keller,
$60, $40 maybe. 60 regular, 40 because like I feel like the response for the unique stuff has been really good.
And we make more money with it.
I feel like it's like a 10 maybe 20% exotic. Like it gets people to come back, but it doesn't get most people. Like most people don't want chips that taste like ribs, and the people who do probably only want it once. Like you eat it and you're like, wow, that tastes like a rib, but like I don't want chips.
Yeah, but then there's like 6 other flavors chips, like the guacamole.
No, that's what I'm saying.
So good.
It's like there's some that you do want, but there's like so few. Like all the weird ass flavors, people are gonna get once because they're gonna be like, it's Friday, I'm drunk as fuck. Like fucking boat noodle chips sounds so fucking good right now. I love boat noodles, and they're gonna eat it and they're gonna be like, ugh.
More attractive. So more attractive to the eye is a whole thing of different Doritos.
It's also just
Cheetos.
you.
No, it's like definitely it just depends on the person. But I'm saying like most people don't want to eat boat noodle chips every day, but they do want to eat Doritos way more often. And so you have like a small section of it, so that people come up and they try the flavors. Maybe you have the most of the flavors that aren't like the ribs and the chicken fries.
If we could get exotic Doritos and Cheetos.
We have exotic Cheetos.
They say Cheetos on it?
Yeah.
See, I think if we had it like that, where it's like
that.
Where it's like the Cheetos.
It all is Cheetos and Doritos.
It's the Lay's kind of. The Lay's is weird potato chip. I'm saying like if you had Cheetos, Cheeto Puffs, Chester fries, exotic Cheetos from Korea, exotic Cheetos
Chester
from Japan,
fries.
and then exotic fucking Cheetos from somewhere else, we'd be on fire. We'd have all the Cheetos in one row.
I think that's the
and then
thing
people
that
would be
nobody
buying all that
understands
shit
about
because they
this
love
situation
Cheetos.
it's like we are buying every exotic chip. Like they're so hard to get. Like they're exotic chips because they're really hard to get. Like they come in like one big shipping container at a time, and that shipping container gets spread out everywhere. Like and then lots of shipping containers that come in and get sent back. It's not illegal to sell. It's just illegal to import. And whenever it gets imported, it's
it gets
so we won't
and it gets cease and desist.
Yeah,
so we won't be able to get. Whoa. We won't be able to get those bottom levels is what you're saying.
Oh, it's so hard
so
to
essentially we can get
exactly
all the generics. We can get all the generics really easy. We're just going to have to look extra hard for the salsa ranch Doritos.
Yeah. And whenever you see them, you pick them all up. That's why like I had you pick all these bugles up and that we haven't even like put out yet because like those bugles will sell out. Like those are the best chips like we've gotten yet.
When you were saying it's like weed, like you see a strain, you get it next time, it's not the same strain.
Yeah, but if you get it this time with a good expiration date, like why wouldn't you just pick up a bunch of them? Like it's a cheap, it's like really cheap. Like
so the
exotics out of all the
is
products we
be
pick
like
up, it's
rows.
the cheapest one for us to pick up. But like I mean, like all of the chips is just one stack of those sticks right there. Like it's not an expensive thing to hoard a bunch of, but it's a nice thing to have. So
it's
everybody
hard to
can
get in
some.
the future.
Yeah.
Okay. I respect. All right, so we're talking about chips and drinks, but so what do you like? And that's just like one of the small directions. Like, what do you guys think about like some of the overall decisions? Like, overall decisions we're making. Like, so we have shops that make some money. We have a podcast that doesn't make any money. We have a website that doesn't really do much. We have a glass blowing situation that needs, I would say, a significant amount of work to make it like a real thing. We have all these things that we're throwing at the wall. Do you think it's good to throw that many things at the wall? What do you think, Kurt?
Kind of not. Like, I think that, like, whenever you're working on something, if you have, like, 7 different things, then you're, like, giving each one, like, 10% attention, and then there's 30% of that attention is kind of just going away because it's, like, you kind of get distracted in between tasks. And so, like, I think you get one thing working, and then you get the next thing working. You work on, like, a couple things, not, like, 7 or 8.
What would be your priority?
Oh, I don't really know. I think it's a combination of glass blowing and the YouTube. And, like, podcast, kind of, but way more the shorts. Like, YouTube Shorts is insane right now in terms of, like, the exploration. Same with TikTok. Like, I started posting just really simple videos. Like, not even me blowing glass, but me, like the ball I made, and then the dots on the ball, and then the dots melted into the ball. And TikTok shares that with, like, 800 people off the bat. And YouTube shares that with, like, 2,000 people off the bat. And then if it does well, which basically I think means the audio is something they like, and the end result is something they like, they just push it to more people.
So do you guys heard what I heard from Kurt? Social media?
Well, like, social media, but specific, like Instagram's kind of, like, they don't push anything. TikTok pushes everything as long as it doesn't have drugs or cussing in it. In YouTube Shorts is a similar way. Like, they'll share it. If it doesn't do well right off the bat, they stop sharing it. But if it gets, like, a handful of likes, they keep sharing it. So, like, yeah. Like, I guess YouTube Shorts specifically, maybe TikTok, and then the glass blowing aspect of it. But only for the social media aspect of it.
How do you feel about the podcast, Austin?
I love the podcast. I'm the producer of the podcast. Obviously, I love the podcast. I do think we need to revamp, and I agree with Kurt in that I think we should focus on maybe like 2 or 3 things rather than 7 things at the same time, because like that's how I kind of feel with like working the shops, you know, doing the manager and then coming to podcasts, and then sometimes shops take us up more time that week, or sometimes podcasts takes up more time that week. So it'd be really nice to just focus on the podcast or focus on managerial stuff, you know.
And that's you personally.
Yeah, but I'm saying that if I had the ability to do that, like, I think we could revamp or like turn the podcast up, you know, turn the heat up on the podcast, pushing it more, getting more like advertisement out there for it, you know, which is something I can't really do right now that I'm doing other things.
And I feel like one of the hard things with, like, depending on the task is it's like the easy thing about YouTube Shorts for me is that when there's not a shorts uploaded, it's literally only me to blame. Like, if I don't upload a short, like, either I didn't blow enough glass, I didn't record enough of me blowing glass, or I just, like, failed to upload the video. Whereas, like, especially when it comes to shops, like, we have 4 shops now, and, like, none of us have ever managed people before. And so, like, to get the shops all looking really good kind of just takes a ton of time from, like, the people that are in charge of it. Like, not to shit on our staff, but, like, if it doesn't get restocked, then it's up to the management to do it. And so, like, that's less time Austin can put on the podcast. And which means that he's not just watching the shop, he's also watching the people. And so, like, that's where, like one thing could really be, like, 7 things.
What do you think about what they say?
He just wants to open more shops. What do you mean?
No.
Like,
right
if you were
now,
gonna figure, what's the like where they're saying, I guess what I heard was this and that.
Well, right now we're like 5 people short.
But we need to be
workers.
staffed. We need to be staffed, right? So we're 5 people short, right? Because of the priority that we picked, which was Billy's Bodega.
We'll open later and then Billy's Bodega. We didn't hire anybody.
Well, I'm saying the most current. Open later. That was, you know, like in our short expanded history, that was like a long time ago. That we opened, we all feel like we've been open till 3 forever. Is that how you guys feel?
Yes.
I don't remember.
Like, holy shit!
It definitely wasn't a week ago.
So the bodega, that shit's brand new. So it's like the decision that we made there was definitely to prioritize this new venture over the other ventures that we're already engaged in. How do you see this? like this kind of dynamic of like, well, we're like, all right, are we too sporadic? Are we trying to push a lot, like, or am I cashing in a lot of lottery tickets every day?
I don't know. I can definitely see it from that side, but I think that's something that's really unique and special about the Glassmith is we have all of these people who are so good at all of these different little things, and we just kind of were like, okay, sure. You know what I mean? Here's this opportunity to, if it can benefit us in any way, please use it. I think that's something that's really, kind of not only a selling point for please work for us, but it's just, really good employee incentive, keeps morale good.
I think that I agree with those. I agree with those things.
Well, I think that's where it's like not so much like if we're working on 7 different things, and it's like Johnny's working on one thing, I'm working on one thing, Keller's working on one thing. It's a little bit different than like it feels like we're stretching each person across a lot of different things, and that's where it starts to become like Austin can't focus 30 hours a week that might be needed to, I don't know for sure, on the podcast, which then means like this week a little bit of work gets done, and the next week he probably has to redo some of that work because he wasn't able to like make sure it was all done perfectly. I think it's more the like
that's
Johnny.
Why I get my shifts covered.
Like I think because like if Johnny
only so many covers.
Yeah, no, and then those non-covers hold me back. I feel like.
Yeah.
Poor Johnny.
So you guys see that the directions we're going all seem to make like they all seem to sort of make sense. They just need to be executed more
efficiently,
focusedly, efficiently.
Yeah, like almost like when you and I made the new sheet for the counts. Like making the new sheets was a really, really good thing, but we made it Sunday night, implemented it Monday morning, and then Monday morning realized we needed to do it different, where if we had just focused, like if we started on it on Saturday, and then Sunday we planned how to implement it, then Sunday we would have just fixed all the problems.
Do it twice is so much easier than planning it out.
Well, not really, because like I've edited all 3 sheets. Like I would have just edited one sheet, and then we would have made a copy of it. Time. Versus like right now, like I bet the Caesar doesn't look the same as 6th because I changed something like way after.
Yeah, but then you figure it out so well for the next time you do it. You know the way to fuck it up, and you know the way to fix it. And then you also know the way to do it right.
Like I know how to do it right. It was just like we didn't know what it should look like.
I think both ways will work.
No, but like one takes 2 hours, one takes 6.
I would say it's. Yeah, I guess maybe the question is more about me. Right,
yeah,
like that's how I feel. Well, it's like where do I like right now? I just got revamped on my podcast focus. I was like, dude. I was like, well, what's this podcast supposed like? I was just letting it coast, and then somebody questioned the veracity of it, and I was like, well, I think it does what Keller said, like where it's like it is it's inspirational to the people within and without. You know what I mean? Like there's like when we talk to management over at Austin Wholesale Supply, they seem to think we're cooler than we are because we have this podcast.
Yeah.
Because we have it. You know what I mean? The social media accounts, people see that and they end up watching. They think that we're bigger than we are, so that's why we're putting focus into this. Internally, as far as hiring people inside also think we're cooler than we are. This, I guess, I'm like imposter syndrome. You know what I mean?
Well, no,
but like the idea that these guys and these young ladies that we just hired know that we're over here doing something that they kind of want to be a part of, and they don't really know about. Haven't taken the time to look. They just know it's a thing. You know what I mean? Maybe have seen a clip one way or another. Like, but then I'm back into this thing. So like where I'm like, let's push. I think my nature is to want to push 10 things, 10 fingers. But in reality, maybe it's the idea is that you focus in and push all in on one. I think that was the reason I was like, well, let's get the 5 of us in this room right now. Because you're looking and you're saying, well, who's picking up the hours? Well, Austin and Kurt and Keller are picking up the hours. Who just built the shit out? It's Johnny who built the shit out. So like, what are we like? Who can we get to start building something and making it done, get done at all? Is the people that are the closest and that you can put the most shit on. For lack of better, you know what I mean? But then still, it comes back to if all 5 of us are focused on this podcast, it's gonna be dope, right? So that's where I say is like I was just like, oh, podcast, what? Somebody thinks this isn't as dope as it could be. I said, shit, I better consider this. And then I said, well, damn, let me get the 5 trusted people around to make this podcast what we a way that we think we could. We'll use all the energies that I'm saying, this energy right here, right now, because some bullshit reason. You know what I mean? When in reality, it should be a lot more like what's important. You know what I mean? Like if we're playing chess and we only get one move, which direction do you think we should push the hardest?
Vapes.
Probably
Exotic chips.
Probably the YouTube.
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 I think the website.
YouTube and partially TikTok.
Website and TikTok.
Yeah, I think so. YouTube.
I thought she was just gonna say, yeah, I think
no.
so.
No.
Austin?
Man, I think right now I'm with Johnny on vapes and Bodega. Like first
Well,
priority.
And the website.
Well, it's like
Website?
when y'all say website, what do you mean?
I think Bodega, like getting that.
Selling things
Oh
to the
my
website?
god, yes. Like if
which-
our chips were on our website, my buddy would already be ordering them from the state that he lives in.
Yeah, but like if our chips were on our website, you'd have to like spend 30 hours a week packaging things and shipping them. Or
I
someone
know, to
would-
make only the same amount of money that we make from selling them out of our shop.
maybe less because you might have to pay for shipping.
Yeah, but if somebody figured that out for me and put it in front of me on how to do it, Kurt, I would do it.
But then you would like that. It would be the same situation as now. Like instead of working the shop,
No,
You'd
I
be
just
like,
know.
"Fuck, I
Well,
don't
this
have
is a
enough
different one.
time."
This one's I get home at the end of the night.
All
I
right.
fucking just fuck.
Austin, what were you about to say?
Whatever.
Just that, I think we should get the Bodega to 100% first.
Yeah,
Like,
we
I think
need
that
to
should be
finish
priority
this.
because you said like
That's
you said
the
it's
two.
at
That's the
75
two
right now.
hands.
Yeah.
Like if I'm
Well-
saying, look, all of us, let's really get this shit situated.
Well,
Make
but-
sure that this is this way, this is
and,
that way.
and hiring people. Like I think first things first, we should get our
Johnny at
foundations
Glassmith.net.
like good because we kind of like edited our foundations, you know, by
Yeah.
adding more shifts and like shit like that. So now our foundations like wobbly and like that's like you're saying your pillars are trying to help out.
There-
we could get more
there's-
pillars, and so the other pillars can support other things like the YouTube and website and all the other things.
yeah, like
But
hiring.
first priority, Bodega and hiring.
Hiring is definitely an important aspect, but like I think that Bodega is kind of where, like that's Johnny. Like not in a like it's Johnny's fault, but it's in a like if you put me, Keller, and Austin and Johnny on it, 99% of it's Johnny building shelves, and maybe like. Maybe 90% is him building shelves, like 5 to 10% is them going shopping and making sure we have all the right stuff. And then like the rest of it's just restocking. Like Bodega being finished is mostly I think
Bodega being finished is a couple Amazon orders and like some screws.
yeah, which is like if you put me on it
Sorta.
with Johnny, it's like
some
why
shells, some staining, some shells, some signage.
he doesn't even let me touch the drill. You know what I mean?
Dude, you break everything.
So much shit. Anything that requires a
He
tool.
unscrewed the most simplest thing and he managed to unscrew it all the way and he broke it.
Technically, I only took it apart.
We
just
then,
don't know
we
how to
then
put it
bought a
back together.
nicer one that was way more money than the first one.
But now I won't do it again. It was okay. Well, all right.
Woo!
It's like the thing twisted weird. Like it can twist either way. Well, like you could twist it either way.
You could go forward or backwards.
And well, no,
Or
and
forward.
You can twist
and
the top or
it
you can twist the
loosens-
bottom.
It loosens both one. Like if you twist it to the left, it'll loosen. If you twist it to the right, it'll loosen. It just loosens on opposite ends. Like it either takes it off the hose or it takes it off of the flashback arrestor, which is really important. You want a flashback arrestor. No exploding oxygen or propane tanks.
Yeah, so then we got rid of
Fire
the
marshal.
one side twisting and now it's only one side that twists.
For real?
So,
I haven't even looked at it yet.
Yeah, don't
I won't touch it.
don't even look at it.
Really, I think we can just blame Jackson. He's the one who said it was broken. I wouldn't have touched it.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
Makes
yeah,
sense.
Not my fault.
All right, so
Always
then
passing the blame.
what
Oh yeah.
what do you guys think this pod should be about next week?
I don't know, but we never got to topic 4.
Yeah, we never got to talk.
You guys want topic 4?
No.
Oh my god, dude! It's like if
I
y'all
did,
could, if
I
y'all
did,
could,
but
if
if you
producer
could
Austin
trust
was
your
anti.
host, if you could just trust your hosts, that would have been great. But that's okay. We'll move right along into the pie.
Well, I think we should put topic 4 next
Billy's
week.
locked in. He knows.
I think next week we're talking about topic 4.
Oh
Yeah. Well, so you think that
next week we should talk about
calling the cops on homeless people is the topic of conversation to lead with next week, end with next week, or start with next week?
I think start with. I think that's a really fun. Like everyone's gonna have a wildly different opinion.
that's a tricky one.
Like it's really tricky because like there's an aspect that's like you just kind of feel bad. Like if you call the cops on a homeless person, it's like damn. Like
I've done
like,
it every single time, other than like maybe like twice with you, but like
it feels really shitty. But there's no other recourse. Like
So
the
that's
other
where
recourse
you
is
start.
like please stop, sir.
Wait, save it for next week.
Yeah. So we're starting next week with how we deal with people in the parks that we don't want in the parks.
And that's
aggressive
regardless.
people, violent people, homeless people,
Yeah.
weird people, creeps.
Yeah.
creeps.
Like not just
You gotta
homeless,
watch
it's just
out for the
everyone.
creeps. Okay, so then what else should we talk about next week?
Can y'all talk about the dank fillet vape?
The one that Johnny's been hitting all episode.
Yes.
It's available at all 3 of our locations.
What do y'all think we should talk about?
Absolutely.
Like,
No.
We should get into some THCA vapes and THCA stuff.
Oh
Yes.
yeah, because it's kind of revamped, like since like even just recently.
Since the last time we had this conversation, just running back.
We've had
for
a
sure.
lot.
Okay. THCA, how we feel.
This vape, I never
Save
hit
it for next
really.
week.
Yeah,
Thankfully,
It's
they
so
ask about it
good.
at our stores.
Feel.
so good.
Dank fillet. Okay, so that's two subjects. Those ones look alright.
And you guys should post in the comments what our third one should be. Probably. We might not pick it, but you guys
Well.
should suggest some shit.
What did
Shit.
we say we were gonna ask in the comments? We picked something earlier.
I don't know. Oh, what chips do you think we should have?
No,
Yeah,
yeah, what
Billy,
your
what
favorite
chips
snack
you think they
is from
should have?
Billy's Bodega? If you want like a breakfast snack or like, we can't put sandwiches sadly. Maybe in the future.
We got a refrigerator.
And what your favorite freeze dried item would be?
That's
Oh,
what it was.
that's what it was.
Yeah.
Yes. What do
Whatever
you
your
wanna see us
favorite freeze
freeze-dry?
dried item is, let us know in the comments.
My favorite is freeze dried ice cream.
Dude, that's what we're starting with. We're definitely gonna start with
No.
some freeze dried ice cream.
Oh, that's the first thing that's freeze dried?
Yeah.
Or next week?
No.
Next
no,
week's
next,
topic.
I don't know.
Oh, we should talk about the freeze dryer next week.
Yeah, because next week we'll have some freeze dried
We have
treats.
way too many topics. We only got through 3
Classic.
today.
No, look,
Freeze-dried
we're
treats.
starting with how we kick people out of the parks. How we kick people out.
What's the second one? Oh, THCA.
And we're going to THCA, what we're doing in our shops, what other people are doing in their shops, how we think we should be moving forward, and what, like, basically, like, should we be putting jars out, shit like that. Anyway, the last topic. What do you think the third one should be? What did you just say? I don't think I liked it.
Probably not. I don't remember
What
what it was.
was it? We were just talking about something. It was my idea. I thought-
Keller?
Austin?
They're gonna put it in the comments. I thought. They're gonna put topic.
Well, yeah, but shit.
We
gotta
just
come up
talked-
with a
we
third
just- we
one.
just
We
came
can't
up
only
with
come
one.
up with two.
What?
We gotta
Okay,
get
what
this
about
conversation
what
going.
about interviews, do's and don'ts with the Glassmith?
How we hire?
Oh,
Dude, I got a lot of
I don't
just-
think we're
just-
ready for that. I don't
just-
know if y'all heard the beginning of this.
Just interview right
I'm
now.
not sure we're ready for that.
Maybe not.
Interview, what do you mean by that?
Well, okay, so Keller's been interviewing all the new people, right? And I remember my interview with you, Billy. You know, and sat down. And you're
Okay.
Like, so, what do you like to do? You know, I was like, you know this. You smoke weed? Yeah. It was like really short. I feel like it was like 5 minutes, and you're like,
yeah.
all right, I'll let you know. Peace out. And then like now Keller's like having her laptop out there. And,
What?
Like,
No, it's wild. She
has
does
a
like
bunch of-
20-minute
has a bunch of
interviews.
questions. It's like
Whoa!
it's like a 30-minute interview.
Well, yeah, 'cause like
Super
Johnny,
professional and like I think very thorough on what we should do.
I
Like,
never
well,
had
just
a
the
longer
difference.
than like a 3-minute interview.
Yeah, Johnny and I interviewed Kaya.
That was my
and-
most official one.
And it was
Yeah,
it was
do's and
5
don'ts.
minutes on the long end. But what I will say
I couldn't have
is
thought
that
of more
the
questions.
5-minute one, it gets only 5 minutes because of the people's answer. Like we kind of had to ask a lot of questions in order to get out what she does. Like what do you do? It's like, oh, like I go to school, like I used to work here.
I guess I was just
this.
looking for like prime
And then-
answers.
I like
And then
that.
like and then like
What
we
are
ended
you
up
at?
getting
Oh, we
out.
gotta save it.
Subject,
We have to
subject,
save it.
subject for next
Hiring
week. Subject for next
practices. So hiring practices.
But I am so curious.
Hiring
what
and
you
re-
asked
Well,
me.
we-
hiring and
Yeah,
recruiting.
cheers.
Hiring and recruiting
week.
practices.
Like I feel
Yeah.
like we asked all the questions that there was to ask a person.
Official questions with HR.
Yeah.
HR with Keller. We can call it.
HR with Keller.
Oh my god.
Dun 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 dun. It's
Let's
HR
do
with
it.
Keller.
You need to bring up all the bad things that happened. In the
Okay, so 3. That's it. That's all y'all thinking
You wanna
about.
try the dang filet, babe?
I got one. All right. It's been real. This was the Glassmith pod. Once again, this is my man Johnny, my homegirl Keller, my man Kurt. I'm Billy. Thanks again to Austin Wholesale Supply, AWS. We love you. Make sure you like and subscribe to our YouTube, our Instagram, our TikTok. Make sure you check out our YouTube shorts. Make sure you check out this pod and our other feed, Legal Drug Money. We appreciate you and
Billy's
have a
Bodega.
wonderful morning, day, night.
Johnny at theglassmith.net.